But at least to swear you in and identify you, can you do that momentarily? And then I'll let you aim the camera elsewhere if you want. There you go. So state your full name for the record, Mr. Gonzalez.
Gerald Gonzalez.
Thank you. Ms. Solis, go ahead and announce yourself with your full legal name.
Isabel Solis.
Kathleen is your
Isabel Kathleen Solis. I'm sorry.
Thank you. It does start with a C and not a K.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now, both of you raise your right hands. Let me see your right hand on the screen, Mr. Gonzalez. Do each of you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Starting with you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
And you saw him briefly on the camera. That is, you can identify Mr. Gerald Gonzalez as being the gentleman who's no longer visible on the screen. But
yeah, sorry, I don't want to.
Fine, but Ms. Solis, you can identify that's him.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just so you're aware, I'm an associate judge. I've been appointed to hear cases filed by the Attorney General's Office Child Support Unit. As associates, we get digital recorders, not official, not court recorders. I'm a court of record, and that's the official record. So be mindful of that. Make sure all your answers are verbal, loud enough for the recorder to pick up and the court to hear. No shaking your head or nodding when you're answering questions. That does not record. No ahas or uhs. I need more formal yeses and nos. The second part of the recording issues, you heard me announce that we were live streaming on YouTube. It is a requirement that the courts are open to the public, and that's why we're doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it myself, Mr. Gonzalez, just so you're aware of that. Since we're not sitting in a courtroom for people to walk in, observe proceedings, or their courts at work, way back when COVID started, they started this this manner of letting the public log in through the YouTube app to hear the live proceedings in courts having Zoom court. Here after COVID, most courts are back in their courtrooms. However, the child support courts have been allowed to continue on Zoom, and that's why we're even here, because we are allowed to do so, but they have required us to continue to be available to the public by the live stream function. So we have to do it. I have no choice, just so that you're aware. And the reason I'm telling you, so you don't blurt out your home addresses, your social security numbers, cell numbers, something like that, that you would not want out there on the internet identifying you. Because if you say it, I cannot take it back. So just be mindful of that and don't blurt out something you don't want out there. It is being recorded on the YouTube app. I'll make you aware of that as well. However, that's not what the public's entitled to. They're only entitled to hear the live version. So when we get done with your hearing, as soon as I can get to the YouTube app, depending on my other duties, I'll go in there and delete it as quick as I can. So it will not be out there indefinitely. The last part of the recording issues is that I'm the only one that's allowed to record. Do not record. It would be considered a violation of our laws, subject to contempt of court, punishable by a fine and or a jail sentence. That applies to anyone here in the virtual courtroom, anyone outside the courtroom watching through the YouTube app. So let me start with Mr. Gonzalez. Is there any questions or concerns that I've raised, especially about the recording issues, that you'd like to address?
No.
Okay, I know you're not liking the YouTube part, but I don't care what your objection is. I'm required to do this. Ms. Solis, do you have any questions or concerns that you may have about any of the recording issues or anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then let's go forward. Mr. Valdez. Oh, and just so y'all know, everybody here in the courtroom participating in this hearing are on video. Everybody else is staff of the Attorney General's office that is allowed to be in the courtroom as they get assignments on other cases and or to sit here and be support staff for the state if necessary. Okay, Mr. Valdez, go ahead and announce and give me a background on this.
Yes, Your Honor. Edward Valdez for the Office of Attorney General. The Attorney General's office filed this motion to confirm arrears and modified child support on April 16th, 2024. This is regarding the child Jace Isaac Gonzalez. Jace is going to be 10 years old coming up here in November. The parties have both briefly conferred with our staff here today. This is a first setting on this particular motion. From what the state understands, the state is requesting a reset so that Ms. Solis can obtain further information regarding health insurance for the child. I believe Mr. Gonzalez is objecting to that. He would prefer to resolve the case today, and I can ask him more questions about that. But the state is requesting a reset. I believe Ms. Solis is in agreement with that. Mr. Gonzalez is not.
And the state in particular, you don't have information you would need in order to make a recommendation on a final order?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, then let me hear the objections and the consents. So, Mr. Valdez, you can pick who you talk to first.
Okay. State will first call, Your Honor, Miss Isabel Solis. Miss Solis, with regard to this case, can you tell me how is Jace covered for health insurance currently?
He doesn't have health insurance. I applied for Medicaid, but I guess they're taking longer than usual because they're not calling me, and then calling them, it's a long wait list, and sometimes I don't have that time the long time to sit on the phone, you know what I mean? So now I went back to work and to the school and the cafeteria, so that now that I'm able to get Medicaid for him. So, or not Medicaid, health insurance, sorry. But this is just my first week, so I need to go and start signing him up and all that.
Do you currently have the cost breakdown of how much that will be for you?
Not
for the insurance?
No.
Okay, but it is going to be through your current employer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How much time do you think you would need in order to obtain that information?
Maybe a week or two, because they said that I had 30 days to get onto the health insurance and stuff. So I just need to go to human resources. This is my first week going back to school, so it takes a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Situated.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Solis. I'll go ahead and pass the witness.
Okay.
Okay, next witness.
State will call Mr. Gerald Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, were you able to hear Ms. Solis's testimony?
Yes.
And did you hear the request of the state to reset this case to have more time to get that information?
Yes.
Are you in agreement to reset this case, or are you not in agreement?
No, because that just delays more time.
Okay. What would you like to see happen today?
I just want to get child support removed and pretty much everything returned back to me.
Okay. So that I can understand your request here, your current child support is $340 a month. Is that right?
No. It's supposed to be that. For some reason, y'all are taking out more than y'all are supposed to be.
Oh, okay. And is that because you have arrears currently?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it is. And your current child support is $340. However, the state is asking for an arrears payment of $110 as well. And so that may be where you're seeing more money come out of your paycheck. But that being the case, are you asking to modify your child support so that you don't have to pay child support anymore?
Yes.
You want to set it at 0?
Yep.
And why do you want to set it at 0?
Several reasons.
And what are those reasons?
Violation of my rights.
What rights were violated?
I don't want to go with this. So whenever the judge is ready to talk, I'll talk to the judge.
Well, Mr. Gonzalez, you are talking to the judge right now. She is present. And that's why I'm asking you these questions, so you can explain yourself.
Yeah. Just a lot. I do not feel comfortable talking.
Do you feel like you need more time to prepare for your case?
No, I'm not comfortable talking. I don't like talking.
How would you prefer to communicate?
I don't know.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez. I'll pass the witness.
Thank you.
So you want to go forward to see if I set child support at 0? That's what you're pushing for, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes. And for refund for everything that I've paid.
And can you give me some kind of legal basis or factual basis on which to do that?
Yeah, I can. Today's not the day.
Can you give me a hint?
Sorry. It's just it's a violation of my rights. I was pretty much forced to do it, and that, of course, already is a violation. I was threatened by the court order that if I do not pay, I will go to jail, and that's threatening me for imprisonment, which is wrong and a violation of my rights. Failure to pay is not a crime, and therefore have no way to put me to jail. And the list goes on.
Have you tried talking to a lawyer or hiring a lawyer to bring those arguments? Because we have a whole system based on laws, and you're telling me I shouldn't even be here doing this job, or nobody should. Because if what applies to you should apply to everybody else too, we wouldn't be here. Do you understand that, Mr. Gonzalez? That you're not going to be very persuasive in that area at this point, and you might ought to talk to a lawyer about it.
Yeah, no, I'm good. So really, I just want fairness, and it hasn't been fair. And I'm not somebody who's gone. I love my son, and I'm there for my son, and I want to be there more. I'm supposed to have 50%, and she took away my time for however she did that. And I just want my fairness, and that's it.
And you think it's fair to pay zero child support?
Yep. Or she could start paying me child support.
Oh, wonderful. It's okay for her, but not for you.
That would make it fair, because then we're both paying each other child support. It'd be equal.
Okay. Do you have insurance available for your child, even if we weren't talking nothing about child support, just the medical support insurance for the child?
I think on my last court thingy or whatever, I was they took out for that as well. I'm not for sure though. I've lost the paperwork.
Probably. I haven't looked at the order in the case. So if there's child support, there's usually somebody ordered to cover insurance and somebody ordered to pay for it. So she used to have insurance. Is that what you're telling me? And you had to pay for it?
I no idea. I was just, I'm pretty sure that's what it said on the paper, that I'm covering medical insurance or something for a little bit.
Yes, Your Honor. Just to clarify, the party's pro se divorce decree did order Mr. Gonzalez to cover health insurance through his employer.
Okay. So you don't have it anymore, sir?
No, I actually was jobless. Which is also, I was also jobless for 1.5 years, and you guys are supposed to be taking out of my income. If my income is zero, how do y'all take out a certain percentage of zero? Which means that all that 1.5 years that I was jobless, you guys added on to my total of no income. And that needs to be taken away.
Well, I'm not going to explain the whole system to you, Mr. Gonzalez. You're better off either paying for a consultation or getting a free consultation for 20 minutes with some lawyer to explain it to you.
Yeah, no, I'm just letting y'all know that you can't take 10% out of zero. So that doesn't make any sense, or whatever.
It doesn't make sense to me that you think only one parent is obligated to support the child, because if she had no job, what does she get to do? Do zero too, and the child doesn't eat, the child doesn't get clothes, the child doesn't have a roof over its head either?
I just said fairness. So
well, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just trying to make some points so that you think about it. But the question that I need to see today is there's already a divorce decree that set things. I had nothing to do with it, and probably has your signature on it. If it doesn't have the judge's signature on it, the state's trying to modify that amount based on the fact that you don't have insurance, and somebody needs to have it. So Ms. Solis needs to try to get it, and I can't order an amount for you to pay if I don't know what the amount is. I'm not going to guess. That would not be fair. And I'm afraid, Ms. Solis, that school districts, usually the insurance is kind of costly there. Or if you had it before, maybe you know a little bit more than I do about it. But have you been an employee at the same school district before, Ms. Solis?
Yes, I have. But last time I had Medicaid for Jace. I didn't have him on there. But
and even even if it takes a while, based on your income, you don't think you'd re-qualify for Medicaid, or you're just
I need to reapply for it, redo it now that I'm working at another job. So I have to redo the whole thing again.
You're not going to be able to get an answer from Medicaid in a week or two, I don't think. Are you?
No, because I've been waiting for them to call me. I heard that they're backed up or something like that. They've been taking a while.
Okay, but you have no idea what it's going to cost you to have insurance through your employer, whether it's $100 or $400. You have no idea.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Don't know
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, we don't know if it's a reasonable cost. We don't know, Mr. Gonzalez, how much, what your portion should be, since we don't know what the cost is. So there's no way I can go forward today on a modification without that vital information. Now, again, I urge you to talk to somebody else besides you representing yourself here, because you're not going to get very far with your arguments, Mr. Gonzalez. The law allows this, and unless I hear something that you have the child half time, then that would be a whole different situation. But if it's regular standard visits with child being in the custody of mom with most of the time, then
Yeah, no, it was 50%. And then she decided to take away my days all of a sudden. And so,
well, I can't hear that now, but if it's not as part of a court order that says you have 50%, then
yeah,
I don't know how you're going to prove that.
I have no idea.
Okay. I'm not going to hear your case today. I can't, but tell you this, if you win on anything, like the child support goes down, or I don't see I could go to zero unless you're sitting in a jail cell, and I'm not sure you want to go to jail just not to pay child support. Mr.
Yeah,
Gonzalez.
against that'd be a violation of my rights. And
Well, imprisonment for not paying child support is allowed in this country. It started a long time ago, and it's still continuing. So you can argue with your congressman or your legislators or whatever you want to do, but there is law in the books that says we can do this. I'll go ahead and reset it. Now, does the state have some reasonable recommendations, not too early and not too late? And the part I was getting to, Mr. Gonzalez, if you prevail and child support goes down or goes to zero, for God's sake, for whatever reason, it could be dated back to when Ms. Solis was served or appeared in this lawsuit. And that looks to be since August. So we could have a start date of September, even if I see you later in October or November, just so that you are aware of the law on that. So, Mr. Valderas, what's the recommended reset date?
Your Honor, there are only so many dates available, but I can go ahead and go through the ones that we have availability for.
Okay.
The first one would be October 8th, 2024, either at 8:30 or 10:30. After that, we have November 12th. There's one spot available at 10:30. And November 19th, there are 5 spots available at 10:30.
Do you know your schedule, Ms. Solis, or they're all Tuesdays, so I don't know if you happen to have a day off or have one.
I agree on the October 8th. That one's fine for me.
October 8th, that would be how many weeks away? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You think in 4 weeks you'd have an answer from Medicaid and or
I should, because I'm supposed to have all that set within 30 days. So I've been working already a week, so I should be able to. I'm gonna go sometime this week to go after school or after work, and go talk to the human resources to see.
Okay, because I hate to reset you again if you come back. That would not be in anybody's interest, but we can't go forward until you have that information. So
okay.
Okay, is the state okay with that, considering what she has to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then I'm gonna set it for October 8th, and that serves your purposes, Mr. Gonzalez, to go forward quicker rather than later. October 8th let's start at 8:30. This is probably gonna be a contested hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're on notice. I'm putting you on notice that you need to come back here on Tuesday, October 8th at 8:30 by Zoom. It's going to be the same Zoom ID. However, the state is going to draft the reset order, send it to you by email. You get to review it and sign it. And even if you don't sign it, it is my order. So you're here in court, you're being told in open court your comeback date. So that if you don't come back, since this is a civil matter, we don't put people in jail for not coming to court on civil matters. But if you're not here, you can't tell your side, and you pretty much probably will lose your case. So I do urge you to come back. Without you, Ms. Solis, we can't even do this. You need to have the information. Please bring it. Even if you haven't been signed up or started paying for it, surely they have a summary of what it costs for employee or employee plus family or plus children or however they deal with it. Bring something that shows the generic cost if it's not particular to you yet. If you have a paycheck that shows the amount being taken out, that'd be great too.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right.
Mr. Gonzalez, I urge you to come back. If you don't come back, you can be defaulted. You'll be less happy if you didn't participate in the hearing.
Defaults
But
would be
you're on notice of that.
lack of due process, actually, and so
Due process is you're given notice of court and you're allowed to appear and you've been given your due process.
no, due process is you guys not investigating any of the situation. Y'all just threw me into signing y'all's contract without checking anything, and that was the lack of due process that you guys did.
Are you
And what I've
talking
been
about the
suffering
divorce
from
decree that's
this whole
being
time.
modified?
This whole time since day one of any decree.
Well, okay, go tell it to somebody else because in child support court, that doesn't carry much weight, Mr. Gonzalez. And I strongly urge you to talk to a lawyer if you have all these legal concerns about what we're doing and under what authority.
Yeah, because it was a violation of my rights. Y'all violated the rules.
If you tell me what rule I violated, I'd be happy to discuss it, but if you're going to be generic about it, I can't hear it. I don't have the time. I've got a lot of other cases that do require my attention as well. So you're on notice. It's due process. You're being told you have a court date October 8th at 8:30. Please come back. You're being warned that if you don't come back, you'll be defaulted. It's all going to be put in writing. It's the same court with the same Zoom ID. I'm just giving you a new court date, October 8th at 8:30. It's up to you to be back here. So Mr. Valderas will draft the reset order. He's going to send it to you by email. You get a chance to review it and sign off on it. If you choose not to sign it, it's still my order. I get to sign it without you. I give a week for the process. So by next Tuesday, if you haven't signed the order, the state will submit it without your signature. I've rendered the order. It's my order. I'm telling you about it. That's your due process. Thank you.
Can I ask, what did I say or do that or sign that gave you consent over me?
You had a child and a court took jurisdiction over you in the divorce and they gave you a due process and they set whatever terms they set that was authorized, whether it was by agreement and or by a contested hearing. I don't know what happened. I don't do divorces. Right? I'm sorry. What?
And by default judgment, lack of due process. And
default judgment, the due process is you are served with a citation and you don't show up, then that's your problem. You get defaulted. You have the right to appear. And if you were properly noticed, you should have showed up. Otherwise, you were given due process and you failed to take advantage of it.
No, there was no
Thank you, sir. I won't argue with you any further. That concludes this hearing. Go talk to a lawyer. All I need you to do is leave the meeting and we'll see you October 8th at 8:30. Thank you.
I'm not really done.
No, you're done because I just ruled. I'm not changing my ruling. I'm not going to sit here and hear your arguments that are no longer carry any weight now that I've ruled. And I've got other cases to tend to. You're not my only person that needs due process today.
But you're not over the law, though. Like,
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm not arguing the law with you. Go talk to a lawyer, bring your lawyer back, or you go be your own lawyer, but not today. I granted the reset. It's done. Bye. Ms. Solis, you can exit. Mr. Gonzalez, if you don't exit, I'll remove you from my courtroom. You're no longer have any business with me before the court.
Copy that.